Hey guys, welcome back to another Spy Family Sunday. We have finally reached 80 chapters of Spy Family. Congratulations to Endo Sensei. And before we begin, I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We love you, we appreciate you. Before we dive into the chapter, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. So, this chapter starts off with Yor sort of waking up from her dazed, drunken state. She's wondering if she's made a fool of herself with Lloyd last night. Anya is eating breakfast with Lloyd and he's like, hurry up and get dressed. Becky's coming over soon. You're going to have an outing with her. And they're going to the zoo. Like, how adorable is that? Becky comes over with Martha and of course she's like, Anya, good morning. But more importantly, how are you doing? She pulls a Joey from Friends and she wants to know how Lloyd is doing. The kids get packed up and they leave with Martha to go to the zoo. Yor finally comes rolling out of bed. Lloyd is like, you certainly slept in late this morning. You must have been really tired. And so Yor's mind is going 100 miles an hour. She's trying to figure out why her and Lloyd don't have any gripes. What Camilla said and Sharon said, she's really wanting to appear normal by having gripes with her husband. And so Yor finally gets the courage to say that she's not satisfied with their life, which completely takes Lloyd by surprise. But of course, at this exact moment, Yuri breaks down the door and he's like, Yor, I've come to hang out with you this morning. Lloyd's like, really? This is the worst time for you to just barge into our house. Yuri's like, hey, what did you do to my sister? She's not satisfied. What did you do? Being the overprotective brother, we'll say. A good chunk of this chapter is just Yor, Lloyd, and Yuri going in a giant circle arguing about, what have you done to my sister? You need to apologize. Of course, Yor is like, Yuri, that's not what's going on. Just hear me out. It's a bit of a mess because Yuri is making the situation worse because Yor can't get out what she's trying to say. I do applaud Yor for finally being like, Yuri, can you stay out of this? This is a marital issue. Yuri, he completely deflates and he's like, oh, my sister doesn't need me. I'm the one who's in the way. And so their conversation is cut short when they receive a phone call. Yor answers the phone and she's like, hello, this is Miss Forger. And of course, Yuri is having his crisis by hearing her say that. She hands the phone to Lloyd. Somebody on the other line tells him that he needs to report to the hospital immediately. We have an emergency code 1399. Lloyd is like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to talk about this later. I've been called into work. In Yor's mind, she's like, oh, could this possibly be a gripe, a grievance? And so she's like, even on your day off, you abandon your family and you have to go to work. Your patients are more important. Lloyd's kind of taken back by that. And he's like, man, she's like really eager to spend some time with me. He's like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to talk about this later. And so he leaves. Yuri jumps on this opportunity to fill Yor's mind with the possibility that, hey, I think your husband's cheating on you. Of course, Yor is like, that seems really unlikely. And so Yuri comes up with this plan. If you don't believe me, let's tail him. They end up tailing Lloyd for a duration. Of course, Lloyd figures it out. He's like, why are they tailing me? What's going on? Out of the corner of Yuri's eye, he sees his captain. There's some kind of code exchange and Yuri's like, oh no, I'm being summoned away. He tells Yor, I'm sorry, I have paperwork to do. We're gonna have to do this some other time. You can tail him yourself. And so Yor's like, Yuri, where are you going? I can't do this by myself. Eventually, Yor sobers up and she's like, you know what? I shouldn't be making this into a big deal. If we don't have gripes, that should be a good thing, right? And so she basically goes home. And Lloyd is like, I'm glad that was figured out. He goes to the hospital and Fiona meets him immediately. And Lloyd's like, what's the emergency? This is the meat and potatoes of the chapter, guys. So basically, Wise HQ has discovered that there's a mole within the faction. And they've been trying to figure out who this mole is for a while. Fiona basically says, by the time we figured out who this person was, they already escaped underground with a bunch of high-level security documents. And if these documents are decoded, all of our lives could be in danger, particularly about the operational matters concerning Operation Strix. So whoever stole these documents, and if they do decode these documents, they could figure out who Lloyd is, they could figure out who Anya is, they could figure out who Yor is, they could figure out the whole marriage is fake and leak that to the SSS. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Yuri was also summoned basically for the same thing. And so his commander is like, we have our embedded agent coming back with a bunch of souvenirs. However, the Wise agents are already in hot pursuit of this person, and we need to make sure that they don't interfere with us getting this information, basically. This chapter chapter, man, I was not expecting this at the end. So basically, I think we're headed towards a Lloyd versus Yuri situation, possibly, or at least Wise HQ versus the Secret Police. So we're going into a really intense arc. This is huge as far as story progression, character development. Fantastic chapter. The beginning was obviously, it was fun, but the ending, oh man. As far as predictions goes, first of all, I want to know, obviously everybody wants to know who the mole is. I know that people are probably going to speculate, oh, what if it's Frankie? Frankie's been working with Lloyd for too long. I doubt it would be Frankie. Now, if it turns out to be Frankie, that would be crazy. Like, talk about a 180 on a character. And I really like Frankie, so I'm hoping that the mole is not Frankie. I hope the mole is actually a new character, somebody we've never met, or somebody we've seen in passing, but we didn't know that they were relevant to the story. So, can't wait to find out who the mole is. I can't wait to see how Fiona, Lloyd, Yuri, how all these people are going to intersect. I mean, what if Yora's pulled into this? How is this going to affect Anya and her schooling? There are a lot of ramifications of the mole getting away with these documents. It's detrimental to the mission. So this was an excellent chapter, great setup. Can't wait for chapter 81. Thank you guys for listening to my review of Spy Family chapter 80. Again, if you're enjoying the content here, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, remember to be awesome and stay true.